Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you guys are new here. Hi, my name is Sydney. I film cruelty-free beauty videos, and today's video is one that I'm super excited to film because today's video is going to be a Shop My Stash for Dupes video on the newest Jeffree Star Blood Lust palette. So if you guys are new to this series, it was inspired by Kaleido, so of course I will link her down below. But through this series, I basically just use it as a tool to shop my stash for dupes for new eyeshadow palettes, or I create palettes inspired by new eyeshadow palettes. Usually in this series, I pull out a couple of palettes, completed palettes in my collection that I feel like give off a similar vibe. I create a singles palette, but really it's just a series that I use to encourage myself to shop my stash, to encourage you all to shop your stash. There's tons of reasons to shop your stash for a palette. You could be like me and be on a really strict beauty budget and you can't buy every single palette that comes out, even if you love the color story. Or maybe you want to test out a color story. You kind of see some similar tones in your collection, but you're not sure if you'll love how they mesh together. This is a great way to do that. Please don't take this as me telling you to buy it, to not buy it, do whatever you want. It's your money. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Okay guys, so before we hop into my dupes, I do want to just touch on my thoughts on the Blood Lust palette. So you guys, I am actually really kind of digging the color story of this palette, you guys. I was really shocked at first. I am not always the biggest fan of Jeffree Star's palettes. I've never tried one, but the color stories don't always scream my name. But this one's kind of fun. It's really different. I feel like it's not a color story that you look at it and you're like immediately, oh yeah, I can create an everyday look in that corner and a smoky eye right there. I feel like this palette has a color story that kind of makes you work for it a little bit, and I think that's kind of fun. So this palette was especially fun to kind of dupe because I got to look in my collection for those similar tones and kind of see how they would pair together. So I'm actually going to keep this palette together. Sometimes when I do shop my stash for dupes video, I create the dupe palette and then I dismantle it because it's not really a palette that's calling my name super hard. But with this one, I think I'm going to keep it together and try to see if I can dupe some of the looks that are coming out, because that's also something that I like to do on my channel occasionally. I like to create dupe looks with my dupe palettes to see if they're actually functional, to see if this process is still effective, because we buy makeup to wear it, not to just stare at it on our vanities. But anyways, I feel like I got off on a side tangent there. But I think this color story is so fun, and I'm really excited to kind of dive into this palette and test drive this color story. Packaging wise, I really am not a fan of the packaging, you guys. I think a lot of Jeffree Star's palettes are kind of ostentatiously packaged. If you guys like it, please don't take offense to anything that I say. This is just my opinion. You can have whatever opinions that you want, but it's really just not my taste. It's not something that I really want to add to my collection, but the color story of this palette really caught my eye, so I did want to make sure that I filmed a video on it. So without further blabbering, let's hop into the dupes that I created. I also just want to throw a quick little disclaimer out there. When I created this dupe, there were only pictures of the palette itself that Jeffree Star has released. I haven't seen any swatches yet, so this is purely off the promo photos that I've seen, so those will be what I'm comparing this to. I have a few days before I'm going to upload this video, so I'm really hoping by the time this video goes up that we will have some swatches that I can compare these two and throw those up on screen for you guys. But let's hop into swatches and the individual shades that I chose. So in the first row, I chose Lethal Cosmetics Void. This is kind of a soft minty green. Then I chose ColourPop Earthshine, which is a soft shimmery pink. Then I chose ColourPop 1111, which is again kind of a soft shimmery pink, but I feel like this one has a bit of a warmer base. Next, I chose ColourPop Big Spoon, which is a beautiful, soft, peachy shade. This one will be a great transition shade on anyone with a light skin tone. Moving on to the second row, I started off with Winky Lux Boots, which is a deep, rich brown. Then I moved into Lethal Cosmetics Altitude, which is a very soft, almost pastel periwinkle shade. Next, I dipped into ColourPop Tea Garden, which is a beautiful duochrome terracotta shifting green shade. Then I dipped into Menagerie Besties. Then I finished with ColourPop Hop On, which is a beautiful red, and Prism, also from ColourPop, which is a deep matte black. In the third row, we have ColourPop Petals, which is a beautiful kind of satiny, soft mauve pink shade. Then we have Eclectic Beauty Lilac Breasted Roller, which is a soft lilac shade. Next, we have Lethal Cosmetics Relapse, which is a soft, almost like acid green shade. I think the one in the palette was a little bit more of a soft yellow, but this was the closest that I had in my collection. Then I used ColourPop 134, which is a beautiful vibrant purple. Finally, in the last row, I used ColourPop Conjure Up and Lethal Cosmetics Terminus. I feel like this video is so short, but like I said, I just feel like I didn't really have much in my collection that I could compare this palette to. If you guys have any palettes in your collection, or if you know of any on the market that you feel like have a similar color to this palette, I would love to chat about them down below. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on this palette. Are you digging it? Are you not digging it? Most of what I've heard, which I haven't like done a deep dive into what people are thinking about this palette, but overall, most of what I've heard, people find this color story to be a little bit random, which I would agree, but I think it's something different, and I think it's something that could be really fun to inspire us to pair other colors together in our collection. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you do enjoy this style of video, I've done quite a few before, so I will link those down below if you guys are interested. I think most recently I did the Natasha Denona Love palette, which I know was on a lot of your wish list after it came out for Valentine's Day, so definitely check that out if you were looking to buy that palette as well. Again, please be kind. I know some people get a little bit defensive of Jeffree Star, and this video is really not a directive to not buy his palette. I'm just simply sharing how I shop my stash and how I limit my eyeshadow purchases and the exercises that I do to help myself feel like I am creating something new out of my eyeshadow palettes and satisfying my urge to buy new palettes and buy new makeup. So that's gonna wrap it up for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!